My dear friends, welcome to Rajashekhar classes on applied data science with Python. This is lecture number 651. In this lecture, we will try to understand code example Imdb sentiment classification. So, since we understood LSTMs, RNNs and multiple types of RNNs, let's go and actually solve real world problem using LSTM. This problem has a data set from Imdb. Imdb is basically a website. What is this Imdb? It is a website that is owned by Amazon, where you have lots of information about movies. For example, one of the information that you have is you have the review text provided by users. Just if you go through that particular Imdb website, you can find you have the review text provided by the users and I can say also review rating. I request you to go through this particular website. So the data set that we will use today, you have review text, whether the review is positive or negative. This is the sentiment of the review itself. So what we have here is our xi is basically, what is our xi? It is basically a sequence of words. And what is your yi? Yi is binary classification, isn't it? Imdb dataset, I can say the Imdb dataset is readily available. This particular dataset is readily available in Keras, isn't it? We will build an LSTM model, LSTM inspired model, I can say, on Imdb dataset using Keras. Imdb dataset is readily available in Keras. A very important note that I wanted to mention is LSTMs are very tricky to get them to work. I will walk through that code. I have very slow. Let me explain each and every part of this particular code in detail manner, because in my own professional experience, when I first learned LSTMs, it took me a couple of weeks. It took me a couple of weeks and lot of reading to understand how they internally work and what is exactly happening. Let us understand what is, we will try to understand what is exactly happening step by step. So I will actually walk you through this case in lot of detail. I will share the reference link, I will share this particular reference link also. Just let me so you can easily get this code and run it. So let's go step by step. Before we go this whole example, there is a very nice blog, I can say. What is that blog name? Very nice blog written by machineLearningMastery.com. Actually, Machine Learning Mastery is a very good blog, and I have learned a lot by going through some of the articles. This is an example I have taken. What is this example? A sequence classification, the sequence classification with LSTM recurrent. Just this is the machineLearningMastery.com. Machine Learning Mastery is a very good blog. Just see this blog, machineLearningMastery.com/sequence classification LSTM reference recurrent network. Just see this one, what it is: sequence classification with LSTM recurrent networks in Python with Keras. I request you to go through this particular blog, and the good thing with Machine Learning Mastery, there are lot of examples both in Keras and TensorFlow. Explanation is, I can say this explanation is terrific. I mean, very nicely explained. So I have taken the code from here I will explain to you step by step. I strongly recommend you to read this blog also. That's why I provided you link here. I'm importing. What is this particular? Just let me go through this code. Just see what is this. I'm importing the dataset Imdb. What it says, I'm importing the dataset Imdb. Here we are importing LSTM module also, isn't it? We are importing embedding and I can say we are importing embedding and sequence, isn't it? We will see how and why all these things are important. The dataset that is available in Keras is inbuilt. That's important. This particular dataset is inbuilt dataset, so the exact reference to this dataset is here. Just go through this reference so that you can understand things in nice manner. If you go here, just this we are importing embedding and sequencing, isn't it? If you just see, these are the references to this particular dataset. What happens if you go here? It explains very nicely on how Keras provides this dataset. Imdb dataset is available in Keras. So what they have done, so the way they provided data is as follows. We have taken all these reviews. We have 50,000 reviews. If I am not wrong, please check the size of this dataset. These reviews are broken into training and I can say this is broken into training and test dataset. You can get training dataset of 25,000K and test dataset of 20,000 to 25K, isn't it? You can split the way you want. Each review is basically, what is review? Review is basically a sequence of words. X1 is a review, isn't it? In which X11 is a word, X12 is a word, X13 is a word, X14 is a word, and you can have corresponding, you have Y1 correspondingly. Similarly, you have X2, a sequence of words. Each of these is a word. X21 is a word, X22 is a word, isn't it? The way they encoded these words are very interested. What they have done is they built a vocabulary. Call this is set V. V means what? V is set of all words. V is set of all words in all the reviews. First they build the vocabulary for each word. What they did, let's assume I have a word the. Let me assume I have a word the. For each word they computed the frequency of words, which means how many times does it occur. So they have word frequency for each word that is available in that vocabulary. For each for every word they computed the frequency. Let me say there is another word A which is occurred 50,000 times. We have to identify frequency, isn't it? They occurred 49,000 times. Just say this one, isn't it? First step is the compute the frequency. What you did, we computed. Step number 1 is compute this frequency. Second step is they sort by frequency, isn't it? They are sorting by frequency. That's the second step. So you basically get table where you have words here and frequency here. Let's say we have word 1, a frequency. Word 1 is 50,000, word 2 is 49,000, something like that. You have word 2 with a frequency of, let's say, 49K. This is descending order of frequency. Let's say W1 is let me say this W1 is the W1 is A, W2 is the W1 is the W. Here in this particular context, what is my this one W1? What is W1 is the, W2 is A, something like that. For example, here in this context, W1 is in the place of the, let me say, hey, this is my W1, W2 is the, let me say W2 is the, and W3 is an. Let me assume W3 is an. Let me assume like this. Yes, here my W1 is 49K. Let me assume my W2 is 50K. Just some numbers I am assuming, nothing more than that, isn't it? Now this is descending order frequency. Descending order frequency means first I am computing the frequencies. Now let me arrange them in descending order frequency. Step 1, I got the let me repeat this one. Step 1 is I got frequency counts. These are the frequency counts. Step 2 is sort by frequency count, isn't it? That is step 2. your step 3 is I will give what are you doing here. Yes, just in step 1, just let me repeat this. Step 1 is I got the frequency. Step 2 is sort by frequency count. That's what I am doing. Step 2, isn't it? What is my step 3? I will give the word an index of what is this? An index of 1 or rank 1 to first word, isn't it? Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So whenever I see the word the, whenever I see the word the, just see, if I see this particular word, which word the, what will I do? I will replace it with 1, isn't it? Whenever I see a word a, let me say, whenever I see this word a, just see, whenever I see this word a, I will replace it with number 2. Why? Because its rank is 2, isn't it? Whenever I see a word an, what will I do? I will replace it with 3, isn't it? I will replace it with 3. I will replace it with so on so forth. So whenever I see a review, now x1, the way I represent x1 is basically a sequence of numbers, isn't it? If I, what is my x1? X1 is basically a review in which you have words something like x11, x12, x13, x14, so on so forth. From here onwards, what will I do? This will be replaced by number, its rank. That's what I'm saying. Its rank, or I can say index. This will also replaced by a particular number or rank or index. This will also replaced by number, rank or index. This will also replaced by a number or rank or index. I request you to go through this lecture so that I will continue same code example Imdb sentiment classification in my next lecture also, that is in lecture number 652. Just go through this lecture. If you have any difficulty, please keep a comment. Thank you very much.